How's everybody doing today? My name is Stephen Croft. I am the Director of Curriculum and co-founder at Hackingtons, Code School for Kids. That's right, I teach programming, and these are the top 5 coding toys you might consider picking up this holiday season. First up, we have BOTLEY, the coding toy robot activity set. This goes for around $50 on Amazon. It's for ages 5 and up, but some 4-year-olds can probably have fun with it at the beginner stage, and anybody over 7 years old is gonna get disinterested really quickly. Basically what this robot does, remote control, program in a set of commands, and the robot will do it. Comes with a set of different obstacles and toys to interact with, and it follows the directions that are given in the remote once those commands are sent to the robot. So that forces the child to really think about the order of operations thinking, the this, then that coding principle, and looping, which is in every programming language. Now, when this is coupled with an enthusiastic older sibling or a parent, it can be really, really fun, but they're not gonna play with it by themselves. A parent tip here is to set up a new course each week, and for the kids to try to solve that course to earn a prize. Let's say unlimited Wi-Fi for a Saturday or something like that. What you could also do is challenge some of the older siblings or the child who plays with this the most to build an impossible course for the entire family to solve. This can be really fun when you get the entire family involved. Number 4 is the Think Fun CODEMASTER programming logic game. This is about $20 at Amazon, says ages 8 and up. Anybody over 10 will be bored quickly, and under 8 might be able to tackle some of these with a little bit of help from the parents. This is a single player game. This is not a family activity, which is a big drawback for me. I like the interacting with other people, but it does lay out some challenges that the child will be able to work through and figure out a way to solve, which is super, super cool. That's how programming works in general. It teaches coding principles like order of operations, conditionals, and loops, which are fundamental to programming. One of the drawbacks is there's nothing really stopping them from just going into the answer book and finding the answer. So you just kind of monitor them and watch them, just like, hey, the fun is solving it and having the eureka moment, not from just saying, yeah, I copied the directions. Parent tip. Have the child who plays with this the most often design the steps that you follow, and you follow them exactly. No interpretation, no outside the box thinking, do exactly what they say. And then you can bring this to life in the house. Use sticky notes or string or other markers and have them direct you to them, like, go get me a snack out of the fridge. And have them direct you into the kitchen by designing the path that you follow before you make your first step. It's really fun, allows you to walk into walls and make the kids laugh, and allows them to think ahead and plan out their steps to a real world environment. It's really fun. Number 3 is the LEGO MINDSTORMS Robot Inventor 51515 Inventor Kit. This is the most expensive piece of programming equipment that is on this list, and that is the hugest, largest, most massive negative for this compared to everything else on this list. Now, this is for the 10 plus age group. This is for your middle school and high school students, but it is $360 and up depending on what kit you get. This is very, very expensive, but it is the most robust when it comes to actually teaching programming. So like I said, it's ages 10 plus. Some kids above 8 years old can probably have some fun with it with a little bit of help because the programming is pretty in-depth. And anybody over 12, so you're looking at probably 8th grade to freshman in high school, might get bored quickly, but there's a secret. I'm gonna tell you that in a second. This uses Scratch and Python to do the programming for the robots. That's huge. Scratch is a programming language that most kids are familiar with. It's the drag and drop coding blocks. And Python is the most popular programming language in the world. It's one of the most desirable courses that we teach here at Hackingtons. This is what you want to get if you want your kids to learn programming. It uses syntax and coding concepts like loops and if statements and variables and functions and all of that, but it's $360 for the base kit. So it's very, very expensive, and there's little incentive to come back to it unless they have some challenges or puzzles to work through. Now, here is the parent tip. Most schools, middle schools, some high schools, have communities built around these LEGO MINDSTORM kits. So they'll have coding competitions and programming and robotics competitions and challenges and stuff like that in the school itself. So you can kind of get your child a leg up when it comes to those clubs. There's also tons of communities online that build challenges that allow your child to think outside the box, not just the directions. Here's the challenge. Make your robot walk across the table, pick up this ball, come around and throw it in the basketball hoop. So with that in mind, if you want your child to learn programming and $360 is a bit much, enroll in Hackingtons. $120 a month. They'll dive into these programming language with actual mentors and teachers that will walk them through the entire process and teach a strong base of fundamentals. That's it for the plug. Lego Mindstorm, probably the best set, but because it's so expensive, it's only number 3 on the list. Number 2, the Osmo Coding Toy Genius Kit. This is about $100. Plus you need an iPad. There is a kit for the Kindle Fire devices, but you have to get a stand for it and all of that. So it is available for Kindle, but most people are gonna use it with an iPad. This is for ages 5 and older. Anybody over 8 years old will get bored really quickly with this. So this is really your kindergarten, first, second grade kit. This they can play on their own. It's a completely independent activity, but obviously if you have some time to spend with them, it's gonna make it even more fun. It's super awesome at teaching order of operations and critical thinking and loops and conditionals. It's a lot like Scratch and Code Combat, if you're familiar with any of those. Scratch, the coding blocks, and Code Combat, where you type in some code and it moves a character on the screen. This is really, really cool. This is probably my favorite item on the list. I actually have it on order for my daughter, who's only 3.5. I'm very, very excited about this because you actually get to hold the coding blocks and then control something on the screen. So it's really interactive. I really like this toy. Parent tip. Challenge the kids to see who can pass the level in the fewest blocks as possible. Let's say you have some children at the same age, or they have their friends over, or you want to get involved. Say, okay, so this level, you have to go here and here and here. Whoever can do it in the fewest blocks gets an extra Oreo cookie. And then of course you can act silly and make it super long. You do it as difficult as possible in the most number of steps as possible, which is a YouTube series we have going on this channel, but it's super, super fun. I really like this kit. And the number 1 toy on the list that I think you should consider picking up for your child who is interested in coding is actually a twofer. It wouldn't be a top 5 list on YouTube if it didn't actually have 6 items in it. So both of these are games. And they're multiplayer games. They're games that have the entire family involved. That is the best way to get your children interested in coding, is to do it as a family. That interactiveness, the telling you what to do, the discovery together is what drives your children to learn more and to be more invested in the topic. That's why at Hackingtons we have group classes. You can code together. It makes it way more fun than just sitting in a basement, toiling away on a computer by yourself. All right, so we have robot turtles. This is for ages 4+. Anybody over 7 is gonna get pretty bored pretty quickly. It teaches the order of operations, functions, and conditionals. This is really cool because the kids get to boss the parents around, which is super fun. So they say go left, go right, and then the parent follows their steps to complete the level. And it's a physical board game. No screens. This is no screen time involved. It's super cool. You get to sit around the table and all of your kids can get involved bossing you around trying to complete the levels. Here is your parent tip. Be interactive with it. If you hit a wall, make a dumb sound effect and go crazy like, oh, I hit the wall. Be over the top with it. It will really enforce the playfulness that is programming. Programming is a ton of fun, so make sure that comes across when you're playing this game. And then celebrate big time when they get the jewel. Make sure you do a dance around the table, you jump up, you celebrate, get that eureka moment to sink in, and they will have no problem learning coding the rest of their lives. All right, number 2 on number 1 is Bits and Bytes coding game for kids. About $17 online. Robot Turtles was $25, so they're similar prices. This is a card game that you can play at the kitchen table. It's for ages 4 to 9, but 9-year-olds are gonna find it a little bit too slow for them. So it's really well placed in that younger age group. It's 2 to 4 players, so you can't actually play this by yourself. which is exactly what we want. We want the family to come together and learn together and participate together. It teaches conditionals, order of operations, and coding fundamentals. It's not overly interactive like a robot, but the fun comes from doing it with your family, doing it as a group. Here's your parent tip. Be dumb. Make mistakes that your kids will get excited to tell you what to do correctly. Ask advice on what to play, etc. Be the one that they are teaching. Now, the reason that number one is interactive games, they're games where multiple people can play, is because we have this idea that coding is a single person sitting on a computer in their basement just typing on a keyboard. But in the real world, coding is a cooperative experience. There is very few pieces of software that get made by a single person. It's always a team of people coming together to work on code. That is why at Hackingtons, we have group classes, that nothing is done on your own. You have a mentor, you have other students to interact with. We have coding competitions that encourage group participation, because when you work with others, the coding that they learn sinks in better, the more fun they have, and the more likely that the lessons will actually stick in their brain. So if you're interested in coding, head over to hackingtons.com, sign up for a free trial. You'll have a blast, and your child will walk away on day one by being able to build a website or a video game that's live on the internet that anybody can play and experience. It's an incredible program. I highly, highly encourage you guys to check it out. If not, play some of these games. Buy them, play them as a family, have fun. Links to all of them are in the description. And if you pick something up, let me know what you think in the comments. Hey, this was really fun. This didn't really work for me. And if it didn't work, maybe we can find something that will work. I would love to hear from you. Like, follow, subscribe, all that stuff. We'll see you in the next one.